What's up, guys? Someone asked me a really good question that I wanted to talk about today. Is there a difference in mental preparation between a grappling competition versus an MMA fight? And yes, personally, I'm not going to speak for anybody, but personally, I do think there is a difference, and it comes down to the mindset. When it comes to grappling, I enjoy grappling. Like, I enjoy scrambles, I enjoy chokes, I enjoy all that. And I see it more as a playful fighting. And I'm in a constant flow, and sometimes I joke around here and there. But when I'm focused, I get to work. But I enjoy it. So because I enjoy it, I find a lot more comfort in that. I don't see it as like it's like super hard, or I see it, well, it is hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like grappling, wrestling, that shit is hard. But I don't go into the mindset like, shit, I'm gonna get choked out. Like, shit, I'm gonna do this, I go into the positive mindset, literally a positive mindset, and be like, I'm just gonna focus on my body and my breathing, and whatever happens, I'll be ready for it. And so because of that, I find grappling a little more flowy, a little more, But the MMA fight, mentally preparing for an MMA fight, I find it more difficult because I find it more stressful. Like, I find it with a lot more pressure. And that's because of the punching. Like, in grappling, you're not getting punched in the face. Like, in an MMA fight, like, if you take it to the ground, cool. You want to choke somebody, cool. But then you're also punching them in the face. And so that also gets me stressed out. And so that's where the mental preparation is different for me. When I know if I'm going to do a sparring match, and whoever I'm going with, like, I'm not trying to plot out every single step. Like, for both, no, like, I don't do that with grappling. I don't do that with fighting, like MMA fight, full on MMA fight where there's kickboxing, boxing, everything. I don't think like, okay, I'm gonna do this step by step. Like, I just go in there and I'll go based on my reaction and my training. And so there's a concept that I always talk about. Maybe I don't talk about it as often, but it is always emphasized in our gym. And it is how you train is how you fight. And so now, like, my mindset when it comes to like drilling or just training at the gym, even though I'm not competing at that moment, because of course, I mean, this competition is against my opponent outside in a cage in a grappling tournament, but I'm not competing against somebody in the gym. All I'm doing is drilling with a calm state of mind. Sometimes I'm stressed out, but I try to do it with a calm state of mind. And then I think about it, okay, if I'm light sparring and then I get punched in the face, even if it's not hard, for me, mentally, is like, that's a knockout. So, which means that if I get punched again in that way, let's say I get punched right here, that's a knockout punch, which means that in a fight, I'm gonna get knocked out there because that was the opening. Or even if my body is exposed and I'm drilling and then I get punched or kicked in the body, stuff like that. So because of that, now I can actually put that in my brain and be like, you know what, in a fight, this will be a potential knockout, this will be a potential, like submission, whatever the case is. So I put my mindset in like doing the right thing while I'm training. Like, train how I want to fight. Like, I want to train with good technique, and I want to train with a calm state of mind, and I want to train because I enjoy it. And so like that, it reflects in your fighting, because you do the right moves, you do the right technique, you push yourself hard in the gym, and then in a fight is actually easier. And a grappling competition is easier because you've already conditioned your mind and your body to do these things in a competition. But definitely, I mean, like I said, for me, I'm a little biased because I enjoy grappling a lot more than sparring. The last time that I competed in the grappling competition, I didn't focus on anybody else. Like, I wish I could have recorded myself, or someone would have recorded me, but I got there and I saw everybody, and it gets a little overwhelming because one, I guess social anxiety for sure. And then two, I mean, you see everyone, like everyone's competing, focusing on themselves, trying to win. Like, you see the matches and you hear the coaches.
Inside, pass it. Here we go.
Like you see the coaches yelling at their grapplers and some coaches are cheering, other people are cheering, taking pictures, you know, talking to each other, meeting each other, whatever the case is. So it's a lot going on in a grappling competition. And then the nerves kick in because you're like, damn, when am I gonna go? And then the time slots change and now you're there like for 4, 5, 6 hours waiting for your next match and your first match, and then you still gotta wait a little more for the second one. But for me, that day I was just there. I didn't try to focus too much on people. All I focused was on myself. Like I went into a little corner. I did my exercises, my regular warm up with jump rope and stuff. So I did my warm up. Once I was nice and like nice and warm and I was a little sweaty, that's where the coach told me that, well, Taz, right? Taz told me that I was gonna go in like 10 minutes. And so by then I was already like smooth and like I was feeling good and already warmed up and like mentally ready for it. But I wasn't watching the matches, like I was focusing on myself. I literally turned around from the matches and I just looked at the wall because I didn't want to see anybody. I was just like trying to mentally prepare. And then when they called me up, I was like, all right, the ref says like, okay, do we do this, we do that, ready, go. And then after he said go, that's when I went and I did my thing. So for me, it's a lot more calmer in that sense. Like, as long as I prepare, you know, in the gym, put in the work in the gym, and then because I know that I put in the work, I have more confidence in myself. And then while I'm in the competition, because I already put in all the work, all I have to focus is controlling my nerves and controlling myself at that moment. Like I know it's going to be stressful, I know there's going to be a lot going on at that moment, but as long as I stay calm, that's how I'm able to compete better. Which is, now that I think about it, you know, going back to fighting, it's sort of the same thing, you know, but definitely that mental preparation also has to be there where you know what you're doing, like you know how much you trained and how much effort you put into this training camp. And then once you're in there, all right, so now you warm up like you usually would and then try to stay calm and breathe and just move around a little bit and just kind of like, you know, feel your body and then just focus on yourself. Like both of them, both preparations have to be where you always focus on yourself. Like you have to be selfish. In an MMA fight, in a grappling fight, you have to be selfish. So that's kind of like what I see. So what about you? If you've competed, is there a difference for you for mental preparation between a grappling competition or an MMA fight? And what are those? So, thanks guys. I say bye. Bye.